What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Saved by the Code, where I discuss technologies rooted in computer code that can save us from the corrupt fiat money regime. My name is Perry, and let's get into the juice. And juicy it is, as always. So, I'm going to start out with this story, which just happened within the past couple of days. That infamous $1 million Bitcoin bet that Bitcoin would go to $1 million because of hyperinflation in 90 days. And this was about 40 days ago. And the bet has already been settled. And this bet came from the ex-CTO, Chief Technology Officer of Coinbase. Coinbase, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. And he settled this bet because he just wanted to apparently show that the state is printing trillions of dollars. Quote from Balaji, which is his name: "I just burned $1 million to tell you they're printing trillions," said in a blog post. "Warning, we are not facing a financial crisis, but a fiat crisis. Quote, there is something wrong in the economy and the state isn't telling you about it." Yeah, so he burned $1 million just to prove a point. And man, I wish I was that rich. Wouldn't that be sweet? No big deal, just $1 million. He paid the guy he made the bet with $500,000 and then donated $500,000 to Give Directly, which is a charity supporting people living in poverty in Africa and America. And another $500,000 was given to Bitcoin Core developers at Chaincode Labs. So it was actually $1.5 million. Gave $500K to the guy who made the bet with, $500K to the Bitcoin Core developers, and $500K to the charity. So, and just to, get people to notice it. Everybody will notice you if you're making $1 million bet on something like this, Bitcoin going to $1 million because of insane hyperinflation. Everybody knew this wasn't going to happen. It was fun to think about that. What if it did happen? But at the same time, sure, Bitcoin's in $1 million, but filling up your car at the gas tank costs $1,000 or $1,500. That's just, it would all be relative. And I think inflation is going to get worse and worse. It's not going to just go away. It's just simple supply and demand mathematics. The amount of printing that has been occurring over the past couple of years is unprecedented. Trillions of dollars just printed unchecked, no oversight whatsoever. And you better believe dirty, rotten things are happening behind the scenes. But that's how it goes. They're allowed to do whatever they want. But we can't get into a couple $100 in debt, or we're in big trouble. Credit scores going down. But they trillions of dollars in debt. And unchecked, unlimited money printing is just fine. That's okay. The double standard in the world is so crazy with pretty much everything. Certain groups of people are allowed to say certain things, and it's okay if they say it, but if these other people say it, it's bad. It's just nuts. And I experience it firsthand all the time. All the time. For example, if you express your opinion to a certain group of people that don't agree with your opinion, and they get very mad and upset and angry at you and stamp and run out of the room and throw their arms in the air, and it's just... But their opinion against yours that you don't agree with, or against my opinion, that's okay though. That's fine. That's allowed, and that's okay. And I don't get mad and stay up and run out of the room. It's just how it always goes. And that's just the double standard for so many things these days. Really crazy. And just like this money printing stuff and the debt thing. I mean, the U.S. is in so much debt. It's absolutely absurd. But if you get in some debt and you don't pay it off, we're going to take all your things. Just double standards everywhere you look. So this $1 million Bitcoin bet is off the table now. No, just no surprise there. I think everybody knew this was some kind of publicity stunt, but it wasn't even a stunt. I mean, the guy went through with his bet. He paid the guy he made the bet with. He donated some of it to a charity and gave $500,000 to Bitcoin developers. Hey, cool. That's great, and it did bring attention to this, more attention to this insane clown world of a financial system that we live in, where, I guess he says here, they are printing trillions, so he bet $1 million to tell you that they're printing trillions. And I mean, if that's what you got to do to get your point across and noticed, hey, I mean, like I said, I wish I was that rich. That would be wonderful. So, cool. Thanks, Balaji, for your say in this matter. Appreciate it. Respect. He obviously feels very strongly, and I mean, so do I, but I don't have $1 million to just bet like this. If I did, I would, but I don't. So I don't. I just make these videos that don't cost $1 million to make. All right, let's move on to the next story I got for you here. Apparently, we will have clear crypto regulations in the United States within the next 2 months. Oh, thankfully, just finally. I mean, it's just we are so far behind when it comes to regulation for crypto in the United States. It is laughable. Welcome to the clown world, folks. I mean, countries like Bhutan and small countries in Africa and everywhere in the world is light years ahead of the United States when it comes to crypto regulation and just providing laws and a framework for people that want to start companies to work within. And when you don't have that, it's just this gray area everywhere. The SEC comes after you. It's just, I think it's by design. There's, as you know, of course, dirty, rotten things happening behind the scenes, money being passed around, all that good stuff. But apparently, according to Representative Patrick McHenry, he is some guy in the U.S. House Financial Services Committee. He is a representative, the chair of the House Financial Services Committee. He's the guy who roasted Gary Gensler. I made a video about that, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something. My gosh, time is passing so fast. Where he questioned Gary Gensler about whether or not Ethereum is a security or not. And the guy couldn't answer. Gary Gensler is the chair of the SEC, one of the biggest clowns in the clown world. And he just wouldn't answer the question, just kept beating around the bush, dancing around the question. And it was just, he was shaking in the video. It was just so weird. And this is what makes me think that there's just money being passed around, ulterior motives, all that kind of stuff. And it's strange because the chair, Gary Gensler of the SEC, there's been videos surfacing of him teaching classes at MIT about blockchain and cryptocurrencies, saying that most of them aren't securities. Just, typical clown world stuff. No surprise there whatsoever. Nothing surprises me anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, that's expected. But apparently this guy, Patrick McHenry, says that we will have crypto regulations. We'll put together legislation to oversee the crypto sector in the next 2 months. Man, that would be wonderful. When asked whether such a bill could be signed by President Joe Biden, our wonderful, great President Joe Biden, in the next 12 months, McHenry told a crowd at Coindesk Consensus event, yes. Quote, yes. The lawmaker was quick to provide a rider, whatever a rider is, that it's always a challenge to legislate something new into existence. What we plan to do over the next 2 months is report a deal out. He added that the bill will address both securities and commodities regimes and issues that are hard to fix on either side. Great, wonderful. Love this. I honestly, seriously doubt that this will actually happen. The U.S. will probably continue being the stubborn clown world that it is when it comes to crypto regulation. But, all you can do is hope, I guess. Let's see here. So did you look forward to coordinating? Yes. Senator Cynthia Lummis is a Republican senator from Wyoming. She loves crypto. She's all about crypto. She owns Bitcoin. And she's involved with this process. She said if the House moves first on crypto, it would improve our chances in the Senate. We have tried to keep partisan tinge off this subject. This is a bipartisan subject we need to address before the 2024 election. So important. This is just inhibiting innovation. And it's just so damaging in so many ways. And other countries are providing clear regulations, are welcoming to crypto. And so they're going to be light years ahead of the U.S. when it comes to all this stuff. It's just, there's so many things pointing to the United States just crumbling and not being a respected power in the world anymore. Because why would you? I mean, it's who would respect with the current leadership and power? And I don't blame why anybody would even use the U.S. dollar in trade, would respect the United States in any way, shape, or form these days because of how terrible so many things are going these days. And it seems all wonderful and shiny. Everything's fine. We're just great. It's not. Nothing's okay. But Bitcoin's hope, Bitcoin's freedom. It is the lifeboat. So apparently we're going to get some regulation here in the next 2 months. Sure, would love to see that, but like I said, I highly doubt it. But I mean, I think it's just, it needs to happen at some point. I mean, how long are you just going to prolong this process for? And just make it impossible for any crypto company, or it's not just crypto either. Like, it is just so many things that are just over-regulated and don't make sense and just are so unclear. And it's just, it just seems like this attempt to bring this country to its knees in so many different ways. Stifling innovation, destroying small businesses, destroying regional banks, just the gobbling up of all of these smaller entities by these larger conglomerates with billions of dollars. And I mean, it's just strange move towards socialism, it seems, and communism, where the government owns, there is no private enterprise, which is the crux of a free society. It's just, we don't even have freedom anymore. It's just so wild that these government agencies and entities are allowed to operate on different roles and do illegal things every single day. Like the whole taxation without representation thing, which is just so illegal, but it happens every year. It happens every day. We can tax you however we want. You have no say in it. And that goes for so many other things as well. No, the Constitution doesn't exist. Like, oh, we have our rights. Yeah, sure. Oh, but hopefully we see some regulation here soon, because the complete lack of it is just stifling innovation in this country when it comes to crypto and many other things as well. All right, next story here about CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, the worst thing that could possibly happen to the financial world in the United States if this, which I think they will. I think it's just inevitable that CBDCs will be a thing. The banks will issue them and people will use them. And the amount of surveillance and control that gives to the state, amount of power that gives to them is unprecedented. They have the ability to, and we already have, I don't understand why, like, oh, CBDCs are like this new thing. Like, currency is digital. All your money in your bank is digital. It's not physical. So it's just like, oh, central bank digital currency. Whoa, it's like new. Like, we already live with them. I don't understand this whole, like, oh no, like we don't already have banks that can just shut you out of your account and devalue your currency and surveil you. Like, I don't get this whole, like, thing that everybody acts like they don't already exist. But apparently North Carolina House of Representatives has unanimously passed a bill which prohibits the use of CBDCs for payments to the state or any participation by the state and Federal Reserve Branch testing of CBDC. Yeah, the pushback against these is quite large, and it's great to see. Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, apparently North Carolina, everybody's against them. Nobody wants them. But like I said, we already have them. I don't know why we're living in this delusion that CBDCs don't exist already. That's what your bank account is. That's what the US dollar is. It's literally a central bank digital currency. Only 3% of money in circulation is physical cash. Everything else is digital. So what is this? This delusion that we live in that they don't exist already. But the pushback is great to see. The fact that these politicians are actually recognizing that these are bad and that they will give power to the state. But it's already here. Like, I don't understand this whole, like I said, this delusion that they don't already exist. But it's good to see pushback from states like North Carolina, Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis in Florida. They all don't want it. None of them do. And they are advocates for, well, Ted Cruz is a big advocate for Bitcoin. I don't know about Ron DeSantis, but it's good to see the pushback for sure. So North Carolina unanimously passed a bill prohibiting state payments with central bank digital currencies. You go, North Carolina. All right, next story here. Next juicy story here. The good old Biden administration. Ah, yes. What a great administration. So many wonderful things have happened since they've gotten to office. You know, we're at war. Just great. It's always great to be at war. You know, just fighting and destroying and killing people for no reason is just wonderful. And that's such a great thing that's happened since Biden got into office. Absurd prices everywhere you go. Inflation is rampant. All that great stuff. And here, this article is that the Biden is another great thing. The work that they're doing is proposing a 30% tax on energy used by Bitcoin miners. Just another wonderful thing the Biden regime is trying to push through. It says here the president's new budget proposal for fiscal year 2024 includes the digital asset mining and energy excise tax, which would require Bitcoin mining firms to pay 30% of the cost of electricity used for mining crypto assets. This tax aims to address what the White House claims are the economic and environmental costs of mining, citing local pollution, increased greenhouse gas emissions, and higher energy prices. All of which are complete lies. Just totally not true. Once again, the incredible degree of double standards in the clown world, aka the United States, is so readily apparent here. No tax being implemented on gold mining companies or banks that use more than double the energy that Bitcoin uses. Just double standard left and right. And, just to curtail the local pollution, the greenhouse gas emissions, the higher energy prices. Oh, just all lies in an attempt to squash the biggest threat to their precious US dollar, fiat money, corrupt regime that enslaves many and enriches a few. And yeah, it says here, unfortunately, the proposal does not take into account the large mix of renewable energy sources being used to power Bitcoin mining, and which continues to grow, making up more than half of the energy utilized by miners. In addition, it does not consider the grid strengthening benefits that Bitcoin mining can offer, which has been seen in states like Texas. Yeah, just facts completely ignored, lies created out of nothing. And this is just what communist / socialist regimes, governments do. This is what they do. They squash anything that empowers the individual, such as property rights, which Bitcoin is property, and that empowers the individual, that threatens their precious US dollar, their precious financial system, that has made so many people's lives miserable, that continues to defraud and deceive and steal your money, your hard-earned money, and will continue to do so. And Bitcoin is the largest threat to that. Hence why they have this insane 30% tax proposition, which won't go through. I mean, if it does, man, that would be a very, very sad day. And we've been seeing many sad days for this country since this administration got in, this socialist regime got in, destroying so many great things that this country represents. So hopefully this doesn't go through, but this is just another horrible, terrible thing that the Biden regime is doing. And I mean, if they get in for another 4 years, that is just a really scary thought. And I mean, what's stopping them whenever you can just get in? Never mind, I'm not even going to go there. Stop, Perry, stop. All right, let's move on to the next story here. RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., likes crypto, man. Elaborates his position on CBDCs and crypto. It isn't just criminals who want privacy. Yeah, man. The U.S. presidential candidate has added CBDC, central bank digital currency, to his anti-establishment, anti-vaccination repertoire and has gained double-digit support among Democrats. How is this guy a Democrat? Strange. It says here in a tweet, cryptocurrencies led by Bitcoin along with other crypto technologies are a major innovation engine, and it is a mistake for the U.S. government to hobble the industry and drive innovation elsewhere. Biden's proposed 30% tax on cryptocurrency mining is a bad idea. Yeah, you go RFK. Love to see it. And, I mean, that would be great. This guy's got my vote. That's for damn sure. Whoever's supporting crypto, I really don't care, honestly, what their party is. If you're about crypto, I'm about you, man. And I mean, I don't know what his other policies on some other things are, but hey, this dude's supporting crypto. I will at least entertain giving him my vote. So this guy likes crypto, man, and it's great to see, you know, saying things like that. We need more people like this, and to stand up against the tyrannical forces that we live amongst and are forced to engage in, such as the US dollar and the banking system. So yeah, he likes Bitcoin. Let's see here, quote, the environmental argument is a selective pretext to suppress anything that threatens elite power structures, Bitcoin, for example. Yes, you go RFK. At least he understands this. And a lot more people are understanding it, but the pushback from media outlets like the New York Times and the Biden administration is real. And a lot of people will believe and follow along with whatever they say for whatever reason. Whatever the TV says and whatever the Bidens say, I will do. So, yeah, it's great to see politicians like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. voicing opposition to CBDCs and his liking of crypto and Bitcoin. It's great that he recognizes the importance of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and how bad CBDCs are. Another one here. Kennedy Jr. is against Biden's crypto tax plan, raises privacy concerns about CBDCs. Yes, sir. Let's see here. He says, another tweet by Robert Kennedy. President Biden assured us Monday that the banking system is safe and sound. Today, bank stocks are crashing. The American people deserve more than glib assurances and perception management. Hell yeah. Good stuff, RFK. I like this guy more and more. And yeah, I mean, they're going to continue saying the banking system is safe and sound. Meanwhile, the most recent bank to collapse, PacWest, its stock has plummeted by more than 50% or something like that. Let's see here. Let's pull up a chart. Good old PacWest. Oh, yeah, wow. Down more than 50% from 6 months. Yeah, let's see. Back in March, it was at $26 a share. Boom, straight down to $13. Boom, down to $3. It's currently sitting at $5.76. Man, that's a big drop from $26 to $5 in 2 months. That is a safe and sound financial system, if you ask me, folks. I mean, obviously, the data clearly is telling us that. And, yeah, this will continue happening. Lies will continue to be told that everything is just great and wonderful. Bitcoin is bad. Your banks that are currently collapsing and failing left and right are just fine. This is totally normal. Totally normal. Everything is great. Give us your money now. Okay, shut up. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're being told. Everything's fine. Yeah, everything's just great. You know, our Biden administration is there for us, reassuring us that everything is just fine. Man, I don't know what I would have done if they didn't say that. I would have been so worried, but now my worries are alleviated thanks to our wonderful president. Okay. Next story here. Hardware wallets gain popularity as FTX collapse pushes users to self-custody. Hardware wallets are where you store your cryptocurrency, where you should store your cryptocurrency. It's literally just a little device. It looks like some of them look like a USB drive. Others look like, they have different looks, but they're a physical piece of hardware that you store your cryptocurrencies on that enable you to be in full control of your money. They essentially enable you to be your own bank. Excuse me. And it's so important that people self-custody their cryptocurrencies. Leaving your crypto on an exchange completely defeats the purpose of Bitcoin, of cryptocurrencies, literally. If you leave your crypto on a website, it's not yours. It's the same as leaving your money in a bank. It's not yours. It's literally the same thing. And if that bank fails, if that bank goes down, your money's gone. You're locked out. You're done. Same with leaving your crypto on a website. That website goes down. If it shuts down, locks you out of your account, your money's screwed. You're done. When it's on a hardware device, you have full control of that. Nobody can shut you out of it. No one can shut you down. It's so important that people do this, and it's good to see that more people are doing this. And here is a quote from someone about the FTX debacle. F dot 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 Sam. Sam Bankman-Fried is the name of the guy who screwed everyone in the FTX debacle, which, if you don't know what that was, happened at the end of 2022. FTX was a very large cryptocurrency exchange that completely blew up, and people lost a lot of money. You know, the typical story, shady business practices, taking people's money and investing it into very risky things. You know, the typical story. It's just the same thing literally over and over again. Greed, deception, lies, all that good stuff. And a lot of people that left their money on the exchange got screwed because you didn't self-custody your money. You should never leave your crypto on an exchange. Only when you're actively trading, do it for like an hour or two and then get it off of there. It's that simple. And they don't cost a lot of money, these hardware wallets, and it just provides you with a peace of mind that you're in full control of your money. And that's the beauty with Bitcoin, is that it's something that you can truly own. Truly own. If your Bitcoin is on that hardware device, that is truly yours. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can take it from you. And that is a very powerful thing in this day and age. And it's very easy to do. This is set up these hardware wallets and store your crypto on there. So simple. It literally just requires copying and pasting and clicking a few buttons and writing down a few things. So ridiculously simple. I don't know why people can't keep track of passwords. Can't just it's so easy. I've never lost a cent of crypto in my life because of me forgetting a password or sending it to the wrong place. It's so easy. But this is the world we live in. So many people just can't handle keeping track of a password. No wonder why things are the way that they are. So easy. Let's see. It says here, a lot of people say they cannot enter crypto because they can't manage the recovery phrase, essentially your password. It's the industry problem. Making the pain point go away will trigger a lot more people to join the space. It's so easy. It's literally, you write down your password and you put it in a safe place. Make multiple copies of it. Put it in different places. So easy. I just don't understand. Why it's just, it's so hard. I can't. Just honestly pathetic. If I don't know how else to say that. But I mean, these are the reasons why the world is the way that it is. But this self-custody thing is so important, and apparently more people are waking up to that. And it apparently takes things like FTX and people to lose tons of money in order for them to take self-custody seriously. I don't know why they just wouldn't do it before, but that's the world we live in. I mean, that's just something that I did from the very beginning when I got into crypto. Was how do you store this stuff? Where do you even when I was new, I was just okay, I can't just keep this on a website. What do I do with this? And I figured out how to store my own crypto. Hence why I've never lost 1 cent. It's just so easy. But yeah, so apparently, in light of the FTX collapse, people want to store their money because everybody lost tons of money, and now we want to do it. But okay, great. At least they're doing it now. All right, next story. Store your own crypto, people. That's the moral of that story. Store your own crypto on a hardware device, and I need to make a video about that soon. The importance of that. How to do it. All right. Next story here. Michael Saylor reiterates his stance on Bitcoin, says Bitcoin is inflation proof. Michael Saylor is the CEO of MicroStrategy. It is a software company, a business intelligence firm, and he loves Bitcoin more than life itself. I mean, this guy eats, sleeps, breathes, everything's Bitcoin. And he has insane level of conviction. This man holds hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin and continues to buy. He's bought multiple times this year, millions of dollars worth. And I think he currently holds like $4 or $5 billion in Bitcoin. And yeah, he just loves it. He thinks Bitcoin is it. Saylor said, Bitcoin is the most disruptive technology of our time, and it has the potential to fundamentally change the way people think about money and finance. He believes that Bitcoin is superior to gold and a better store of value. I would agree. Quote here, gold has been the store of value for the last 5,000 years, but it's not the best store of value anymore. Bitcoin is digital gold, and it's better than physical gold because it's more portable, divisible, and secure. Yes. Yes, it is. And there are other properties about Bitcoin that make it better than gold as well. It will continue. I think the shift in the perception of how Bitcoin is better than gold will continue to happen. It's just undeniable. It has a fixed supply of 21 million coins. That's huge. We don't know how much gold's out there. And the price of gold is heavily manipulated by banks and gold miners, and I mean, so is Bitcoin, but not nearly to the degree that gold is. It says here, he argues that the current fiat currency system is flawed because central banks can print as much money as they want. Yes, they can. He believes that in the long run, people will realize that Bitcoin is the only asset immune to inflation. Yes. And the volatility that we're seeing with Bitcoin, this is how anything starts out. Volatility is, it doesn't matter what it is. Gold has had a bunch of volatility back in like the 70s. Like, stocks have tons of volatility. Look at these bank stocks going down, up, whoa, everywhere. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous how Bitcoin is just the center of these insane arguments. The double standard is just everywhere. That's just what humans do. Is just like such double standard bullcrap everywhere. Bank stocks are allowed to be volatile, but not Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin bad. Bitcoin volatile. Bitcoin use lots of energy. But banks are allowed to use a lot of energy. Bank stocks are allowed to be extremely volatile. Gold mining is allowed to use a bunch of energy. That's okay to be volatile too. But Bitcoin, oh gosh. Honestly, the pushback against Bitcoin tells me that it is the right thing. Whatever is being attacked the most is the thing that I want the most. Says here, Bitcoin is... yeah. The volatility is just inevitable with anything that just starts out and has a low market cap like Bitcoin does. It's not even $1 trillion market cap right now. It's like 600 million or 600 billion. That's low. That's small as heck, relatively speaking. Gold is like 10 trillion. You know, I mean, so Bitcoin's not even 10% of the market cap of gold. So there's a lot of growth potential there, and the volatility is going to be crazy for these when it's just starting out. It's just how math works. So yeah, Michael Saylor loves Bitcoin, buys a lot of it, says it is inflation proof, and I totally agree. All right, next story here. Cardano deploys the first Hydra head. Hydra is the scaling solution for Cardano, and apparently it was just deployed recently, Hydra, and this is a big update. It is going to enhance transaction processing capabilities, transaction throughput, cheaper transactions, all that good stuff. And it's going to make it more scalable and adaptable for various use cases that require fast and cheap transactions. Cardano continues to push out updates and is a force to be reckoned with. And I really think we're going to see a Cardano season in the next bull run with all of these updates and actually functioning systems that were not previously there. Cardano has only been around since like 2017, 2016, 2017, 2018. Ethereum had a couple year head start on it. I just love Cardano because of the approach that they take to blockchain technology and developing all these things. It's a research-based, peer-reviewed based approach where they publish research, they do research, they publish research papers, and create an ecosystem to where others can learn from them and build off of their findings, which is how it should be, and this is how it is in the scientific community. People do research, they publish their results, and people can refer to their articles, their research findings, to maybe develop their own research or write their own papers and advance the whole space as a whole. And that's Cardano's approach to the development of their blockchain. Let's see here. Just do proof transaction processing. Yeah, so really great to see this layer 2 scaling solution for Cardano was just deployed. And they just continue to release updates that improve the protocol. Ethereum does too. And it's a good project, but I just think Cardano is better. And it will definitely have a place in the world of blockchain. All right, moving on to the next story here. Montana passes the right to mine proposal. And this is being, and I believe Texas is also working on this as well. They are protecting Bitcoin miners from not being allowed to mine. And this is so important, this kind of legislature. It has been signed into law. So the action effectively preempts municipalities in Montana from banning Bitcoin mining. So you can't ban mining in Montana. Let's see here. Has backed pro mining laws in future. State of Montana has officially signed the right to mine Bitcoin bill into law. Great. Beautiful to see. So I think we're going to see an increase in mining in Montana naturally. I mean, if they're going to be welcoming to Bitcoin miners, why wouldn't you go there? It's also pretty cold there, so I believe cooling the machines would be much easier in a place like Montana where it's cold quite a bit of the year. This legislation forbids charging mining companies higher electricity costs and forbids taxing cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange. Beautiful, great to see, love it. And we need more of this. And we're seeing more of it. And this is so important because those crazy tax bills proposed by the Biden administration to tax them 30%, just so unfair and just such an extreme double standard there. And it just goes to it's just further proof that the Biden administration is a socialist regime, just attacking things that empower the individual. It's just so obvious. And but places like Montana aren't having it. And I hope to see more states enact these types of things. And like I mentioned before, there's a lot of renewable energy mining going on. There's that Iris Energy in Canada, which is expanding to Texas, which has 100% renewable Bitcoin mining. 100%. And none of that is ever mentioned in these ridiculous bills that say Bitcoin uses tons of energy. We need to stop it now. Oh my God. Never mention anything like the amount of renewable mining that's going on, which is the majority of mining now. It's surpassed 50%. Gosh. But, I mean, hopefully the truth will prevail. It's just Bitcoin's unstoppable. We've never seen anything like it. And it's the amount of progression that it's made over the past 14 years is just so mind-boggling. Like, for anybody to even imagine that Bitcoin would have gotten to the point to where it is today it's just incredible. Like, we got El Salvador adopting it as legal tender. We got Bhutan secretly mining Bitcoin. We got Montana passing this legislation to protect miners. I mean, it is a force to be reckoned with, and it's not going anywhere. It's only growing. Mining operations are expanding. Countries are adopting it. I mean, the signs are all there. The US dollar is failing. I mean, the environment for Bitcoin to thrive is so, honestly, it couldn't be better, if you ask me. And like I mentioned a lot, I mean, it does thrive in times where traditional systems are crumbling, but this is what it was designed for. And we need something like this because this is all inevitable. All this crumbling and all this destruction and horrible things that are happening around the world. It's just inevitable. I mean, you can't keep kicking, like things like 2008 financial crisis happened. Nothing was fixed. You know, I mean, and things like that will continue. And they're happening now with the banking failures and all that stuff. Like, it's just, we need something like Bitcoin to provide an alternative to exit these corrupt systems that make no sense and that empower and enrich a few and enslave many. All right, next story. El Salvador enacts a game-changing tech legislation. The president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, signs the Innovation and Technology Manufacturing Incentives Act, eliminating all taxes on technology innovation, software and app programming, AI, and computer and communications hardware manufacturing in a bid to transform the nation into a global technology hub. Very cool. El Salvador loves Bitcoin as well. They are all about blockchain and almost entirely Bitcoin. And like I said, they actually have it as legal tender there, meaning that businesses have to accept it if you want to pay in Bitcoin. You can pay your taxes in Bitcoin. You can just use it in the same exact way as, say, the US dollar. You can do everything with Bitcoin that you can with the US dollar in El Salvador. And I think we will continue to see countries adopting it as legal tender as well in the coming years. And it's going to start with smaller countries like El Salvador, like Bhutan, like this place called Tonga. I believe it's off the coast of Australia or something. I may be mistaken there, but they've been talking about adopting it as legal tender as well. It just makes sense. I mean, fiat currencies do not work. They don't work, and they never will work. Yeah, it's great to see these countries like El Salvador trying to become technology hubs and adopting legislation such as this that doesn't tax and inhibit innovation. This is where a lot of companies will go, wherever places like the US are just like, no, you can't do that here. You know, okay, bye. Why would we stay here? So yeah, El Salvador killing it as usual. This Nayib Bukele guy, the president of El Salvador, pretty cool dude. Loves Bitcoin, and so I love him. All right. Next two stories here to end the video. Billionaire Bill Ackman on the U.S. banking crisis. We are running out of time to fix this problem. Yes, we are. We aren't running out of time. We are out of time. Quote here, how many more unnecessary bank failures do we need to watch before the FDIC, U.S. Treasury, and our government wake up? We need a system-wide deposit guarantee regime now. What do you mean, a bailout? The regional banking system is at risk. The rapid rise in rates impaired assets and drained deposits. We are running out of time to fix this problem. Thanks, Billy. We didn't notice. You're a billionaire off of the fiat money system, and you are probably really scared. Just like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make my billions if the US dollar goes down? I need the government to come in and bail me out. He explained that the failure of the FDIC to update and expand its insurance regime has hammered more nails in the coffin. Stressed that First Republic Bank would not have failed if the FDIC temporarily guaranteed deposits while a new guarantee regime was created. Instead, we watched the dominoes fall at great systemic and economic costs. Yeah, I mean, this is all by design, I think. It's just to gobble up smaller banks and buy the bigger ones like JP Morgan, which is what who bought First Republic Bank. They were sold to JP Morgan, one of the largest, I think the largest bank in the entire world. And they're like, oh, you can come to us, deposit your money here. We got your back. All good. You know, you're safe with us. We won't collapse because we're too big to fail. So come on over to us. The government's got our back. We get bailed out, but they don't. So you can come to us. What a joke. What a clown world. And this is the same thing, like I said, that happened to small businesses, and it continues to happen to small. And it happened in 2020. Such a blatant, obvious attack on small businesses. Couldn't be more obvious. Oh, Walmart's still open, but, you know, little Johnny's grocery store down the street, you know, the old guy that's had that grocery store for 40 years, worked his butt off, family business, wanted to pass it on to his children, absolutely decimated. You are not allowed to be open. Shut your doors. Go to Walmart. Horrible, terrible, disgusting things happening. And this is what's happening in regional banks right now. You know, Bitcoin maybe, you know, it might be crazy. You might think I sound crazy that it fixes all this stuff. But in reality, you fix the money, you fix a lot of problems. You know, if we were able to neutralize the creation of money with Bitcoin, because that's like the center of like the issue is just the creation of money comes from humans literally deciding, oh, we need to print billions of dollars and devalue everybody else's money, but we're okay because we're so close to the money printer. It's called the Cantillon effect. There's actually a term called Cantillionaires, where people just get rich off of printing money. And that's happening, and it hurts those furthest away from the money printer the most. And so if we had something like Bitcoin that was neutral, where this money creation process was neutralized, a lot of these problems would be fixed. A lot. But yeah, so thanks, Bill Ackman. Didn't notice that we were running out of time. We got to hear it from a billionaire, apparently. Next story, last story. Fed chair warns of uncertain and adverse consequences of U.S. debt default. We'd be in uncharted territory. Jerome Powell warned of a highly uncertain and adverse economic consequences if the U.S. defaults on its debt obligations. No one should assume that the Fed can protect the economy from the potential short and long-term effects of a failure to pay our bills on time. What bills have been paid on time? We're in so much debt. I think it's like $32 trillion in debt or something. That number is so big. They raised interest rates by 25 basis points, the 10th hike in 14 months. The increase takes the Fed funds rate to a target range of 5 to 5.25%, the highest since August 2007. The risk of the U.S. debt limit during... Yeah. This doesn't look good, folks. You know, this really doesn't. The future is not. It's the only thing that is giving me hope, that is giving me light, is Bitcoin. This thing right behind me. If it didn't exist, that would be very scary. Because what do you do? Where do you go? Everything's failing. You need a flight to safety. Bitcoin is that flight to safety. So gold's cool too, but Bitcoin's better than gold for a number of different reasons. I mean, it's just like literally just if we were going through all this stuff and someone was just like, oh, imagine if we had like some way, some alternative thing that wasn't physical that we could use to exit the failing system that we're all forced to use. Just imagine if that existed. It would be so incredible. It would be so amazing. We have something like that. Bitcoin. Oh. And these are just huge advertisements for it because this is exactly what it was designed for. To protect against these inevitabilities. The failings of a financial system that was designed to fail from the beginning. It's just, how can you have a system based on fractional reserve banking and unchecked money printing, and it is literal just mathematics, supply and demand, simple to see and anticipate these things. Like, I'm not an economist by any means, but I've recognized this for years, that all this was going to happen. And that's the reason why I've been into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and obsessed with them for the past couple of years, because they are the only way out. The only way. So, yeah, not looking good. But, hey, there's hope. There is light. It's Bitcoin. All right, folks, that does it for this video. Actually, what I'm going to start doing as of this video is ending it on a funny note, because I know my videos are full of negative things. But like I've mentioned many times, the ethos of the entire channel is that Bitcoin is hope, Bitcoin is freedom, Bitcoin is that life raft in a world where there is not much hope and the future looks quite bleak. But Bitcoin is that hope. It is what gets me out of bed in the morning, amongst some other things, but that is a big driving factor. I wake up, I'm like, yeah, Bitcoin, let's go. If that wasn't a thing, I would be scared. I'd be very scared and pretty hopeless. But it is here. It does exist. And I just couldn't imagine a world without it, really. But like I said, let's end some of these videos on a funny note. Gonna resort to good old Babylon Bee, our friends at Babylon Bee, the best source of truth in this world. And let's see here. Let's just pick a story here. This is gonna be funny. Let's see. 1-year-old condemned for appearing in. Oh, Biden pulls out. All right, let's see here. This looks like a good one. Biden, the headline here is Biden pulls out handy wheel of distraction to deflect from latest scandal. There's literally a picture of Biden in the Oval Office, and on his desk is this little wheel. And on the wheel, it looks like he can spin it, and whatever it lands on will be his next move. So looks like he's got on the wheel here. There's a new pandemic is one of the things that he can land on. Democracy is under attack. We got UFOs. Fall off bike again. Oh, that's too funny. Ban random part of gun. What a joke. Oh, love it. These guys are so funny. Here, it's a quote from Biden. We got to whip up another story, folks. Biden said as he shuffled into the secret room where the administration keeps the wheel of distraction. If people start talking about the bribes I took during the Obama administration, they'll end up finding out about everything else I've done over the past 50 years. Dargan Sparrenbinder. It's too funny. I mean, this is what it feels like actually happens. It's just like, let's spin the wheel. Oh, new pandemic, let's go. Spin it again. Ban random part of a gun. Oh, yep, let's go. That's the new thing. The other one, here's another one on the wheel. You've won $10,000. Too funny. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this now just to end on a light, funny note, because this is just the clown world that we live in. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And, yeah. Until next time, I hope you're all doing all right out there. Get your butt saved by the code. And until next time, I bid you farewell on your cryptocurrency journey.